Bowls Australia acknowledges the traditional owners and custodians of the land in which this stream is produced. We pay our respects to all First Nations people and acknowledge elders past and present.
It's been 2,412 days since Shannon McElroy clinched the final gold medal of Christchurch 2016, and since then, we've endured a global pandemic that has caused the postponement of this wonderful event. But we are back, and this is the 2023 World Bowls Championships from the Gold Coast in Australia. Not only is it the first tournament in 7 years, but it's the first ever para match broadcasted in the event's history, and it's between Australia's Cheryl Lindfield and Serena Bonnell against England's Jennie Sandford and Gill Platt. This is Ringside Live. Val Febo here with you, and joining me for this exciting occasion, the first match of the tournament, is the one and only right at home Jackaroo Barry Lester. Baz, great to have you alongside me this morning.
Great intro, Val. Yes, that's right, mate. It's been a long wait, but we are here now, and it's the Ashes. It's the Ashes on lawn bowls greens. It's so good to see, and where else would you want to be than Broadbeach Bowls Club, under the shadows as the sun peaks over the high rises. Beautiful day, great conditions, and no doubt some high profile and high level play.
It is going to be sensational, and the Australians, Cheryl and Serena, they're back. They won silver at the Commonwealth Games last year in the para event. Not home conditions up there in Leamington Spa, but this time, Baz, it's this should suit them. Both of them are Queenslanders.
Yeah, they'll know the conditions really well, especially with the amount of practice and training and events they've played on these particular greens, and the conditions are pretty similar to what they would have played on over the years. So around about the 15-second mark, really nice wide drawing greens here, especially the green 3. It's quite sharp on the draw, but you're going to see a lot of bowls with plenty of finish and plenty of run on.
Certainly will. Serena Bonnell gets us underway. Oh, not yet. Sorry, they're still doing their roll-ups.
It's so important, Val.
Started, but the horn hasn't gone off yet. Gets us underway in the second roll-up end.
Yeah, so important for them just to get that few ends roll up, not only just for the touch of the surface, but just to acclimatise the conditions.
Yeah.
A few people still wearing vests and jackets, a little bit fresh this morning. And then once that green's fully covered in sunlight, that's when the temperature really will rise, not only with having to take their jackets and vest off, but that's when the heart rate gets up a bit. You hear it's the big stage, world champs, and start seeing people raise the voice, maybe chase after a few bowls, get right after them, and we'll see some high action and high quality bowls early on.
So, Baz, it's we know that the greens do get quicker in the afternoon here, and when the sun does start to bake the green. At the moment, they're running at about 14.5 seconds, and top of 20 degrees today here at Broadbeach, or here on the Gold Coast. At the moment, currently 17. So once the weather does, or the temperature does come up, we know those greens do get quick. But this is such an exciting occasion, and you've been here before. How were you before your first match at a World Bowls Championships?
Always full of energy. I like to have a bit of a laugh and a bit of a joke and just be my absolute self. There's no way other than doing it that way, because if you're trying to be someone else or focus on other things you wouldn't normally focus on, that's an actual distraction. So you need to be who you need to be. And for me, it was always 5 to 10 minutes on my own, pre-roll-up. So just get some quick reflection time on what you've done in training and what you've done in recent performances to get here, and then use those positives as a mindset going into that game.
Listen to a bit of gangster rap.
Absolutely. Yeah, no doubt. But yeah, if you've done something the day before in training, or you might have competed the day before, just grab all the positives, all the goodness out of that, and keep it fresh in the forefront of your mind for the first few bowls. But some people like to focus on getting the bowl away well or things like that. For me, it was always just try and be in a real upbeat, positive mindset. The extension of that, Val, is too, because your role is more than just bowling your bowl. You'll have a role in a team event where you've got a role on the mat, which is obviously performing with your bowls, but then you've got a role off the mat, and that's being that team player, supporting your teammates with voice, bringing the energy, picking up bowls, and so on. So that's something that the Jackaroos, I know, really pride themselves on.
They do, and the format here for the women's para pairs, it is a round-robin type format, and the top four go through to the semi-finals of the 6 teams. So it's New Zealand against Thailand first up this morning on the rink next door, then Australia and England, of course, and then next to Australia and England, it is Scotland against Hong Kong, China. Scotland, the Commonwealth Games gold medalists last year. They dominated the para disciplines, winning all 3 golds. Australia with 2 silvers there. So looking forward to this one. Cheryl will lead against Jennie Sandford, and Serena Bonnell to skip against Gill Platt this morning.
I just want to point out too, I think it's fantastic, the fact that we're bringing this game to people around the world, but we're actually a couple of rinks in. We're not using a ditch rink as the horn blows.
There it is. So Cheryl Lindfield to set the mat length in what is a history-making occasion, Barry Lester, as the first lot of para bowls head down the green at a World Bowls Championship. This is a wonderful, wonderful moment in our sports history. No longer kept apart. Everyone is one team. Let's see who does send down the first para bowl, because that's going to be the answer to the trivia question. And it's Damien Delgado on the far rink.
There he goes. And I'm sure there's some butterflies there. I know Damo, very sort of emotional kind of guy, really wears his heart on his sleeve, so good on you, Damo. Nice little, even better if you can get a toucher.
Certainly.
Toucher with your first bowl, but Cheryl's on her way as well.
We are underway.
Yeah, just mentioning before, well done to the BA team, to bring a high-quality match like this at World Championship level, but to be able to use some inside rinks, that's where the technology is now, and right in the middle of the green, and
yep.
It really looks fantastic. Great setup by our BA staff.
So Gill Platt played at the Commonwealth Games last year. They finished on top of the section on shot difference. England, it was Gill Platt and Michelle White. Finished on 9 points. South Africa second on 9. And Australia, Cheryl and Serena on 9 as well. Scotland, Rosemary Lenton and Pauline Wilson actually finished 4th, and they got 1 win from that round-robin stage. Ended up winning the gold medal, knocked off England in the semi-finals. So, Gill, a very good skip in her own right. Defeated Australia 22-5 in that Commonwealth Games encounter. But Cheryl and Serena, on their home conditions, are a force to be reckoned with. We saw them at the Australian Open in the multi-disability women's singles final, and that was an absolutely epic contest in which Cheryl came back and won it in just over 3 hours, Baz.
Yeah, and it's hats off to them. They're long days. You're up early and you're doing your recovery at night as well, and the way they continue to play well and play at the highest level long periods of the day, it's full credit to their preparation and the HP staff that are helping them with that. And we're seeing that more and more, every country getting right behind it now. Yep. Just this morning, a lot of players warming up. Cheryl just connecting on the front there. A lot of players warming up, and you can see them hydrating and getting fully prepared. This is the biggest stage, and well done to them.
It certainly is the biggest stage, and watching the biggest stage, we've got Joe Franzi. He's watching on. He's a member here at Broadbeach, at one of our great volunteers at the Australian Open. Good to have your company. He's a good Richmond fan is Joe. Marco Faccio watching from, he's supporting Brazil. Good to have your company, Marco. And also, if you want to keep up to date with the live scores, just click on the link that Locke has put up in there. You can follow all of the scores around. We'll try and keep you updated where we can, but the scorecards just aren't really in our line of sight for the moment from where we're positioned. And there's scores going on everywhere. So that is your one-stop shop, world2023.bowls.com.au. Head there for all of the information that you need.
Already a few people coming in to watch. We're expecting some really, really good crowds the next 2 weeks. All the host venues supplying great seating, grandstands. Some of the venues look spectacular.
They do. Was out at a few of them yesterday. Helensvale looked great at the opening ceremony. It was great to see all of the countries that are here. Record numbers, of course. And a record number of gold medals up for grabs, Barry. 11.
11, beautiful. Let's hope we can get some of those.
Last time out, the Australian women, they took home the Taylor Trophy. The Leonard Trophy went to New Zealand on home soil. They won the singles and the fours in the men's events. Australia in the women's won the singles, triples and fours. We'll be hoping to replicate a lot of those. 11 Australian debutantes at this World Championships, Barry.
Yeah, and quite experienced players for Australia, but some of them just playing their first World Championships, considering we haven't had one for 7 years.
Yeah.
But great opportunity for them to, stamp their authority in terms of it being an international player. Once you get selected for a World Champs or a Com Games, you've really made it at the top. And well done to the players debuting. They've really earned their selections, and we have such high quality players throughout our squads, and they really deserve it. So Serena, she needs to clear her front or at least promote it. Just got Cheryl just blocking the view there. So she has promoted it, but slid off maybe second or third. Still a bit of room for both skips here. So
we will obviously have a few people getting in the way of the cameras. We can't help that, unfortunately. Some of these players aren't too used to being live streamed, so just bear with us. And JP will be broadcasting which games we are going to show. We'll be posting that on social media the night before. So the best way you can stay in touch with that is to follow Bowls Australia's social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, and put your notifications on as well, because you'll be notified as soon as we go live. Good morning to you, Andrew. Good evening to you in Canada. Trav watching from Bulawayo in Zimbabwe.
Serena missing high there. I think it would be 2 down from where I'm sitting.
So one more to come from Gill Platt.
Yeah, just needs to work around. Probably about 3 feet of room to count here.
So let's see what she's got. Team Blue, that's England. They're using the Henselite Dreamline XGs. Cheryl Lindfield in the red, doing the same. Let's see what the result is here. Going to get the tape out.
Early tape.
To start proceedings. 18 ends here.
It's interesting. Sometimes you can go nearly a full game without measuring, but here we go straight up. And it's so important. Every shot counts.
Especially at a World Bowls Championships. Barry, you do not want to leave any out there.
No, those pool games, you've every shot plus or minus adds up, and that's how you got to be thinking too. With every shot selection, it's like playing for a big board in a pennant environment. You got to be focusing on the averages and the percentages. So every player out there, well drilled, knowing what's in front of them. Yes, a win's a win, or if you just go down, try and keep the scores close.
So we wait anxiously to see what the score is going to be here. See who will be on the board first do believe that. Can't quite see what they're measuring for there. I think that's 1 to Australia. And Serena and Cheryl. Not sure. I thought it was 1 to England. Okay. Already moved one out. Cheryl put the 1 up, and that confused me.
Yeah, so 1 shot to England there. A little bit of a loose end there for players, but that's okay. A bit of butterflies, a few nerves. You've probably got some external things going on in your mind as well. Probably maybe a little bit of focus on the cameras and the conditions. You've got a bit of shadowing over the green, so there's some external factors that can play on your mind early, and that's where that concentration levels need to be absolutely premium pre-roll up, and get your mind really fine-tuned in, and that's just normal sort of human nature. Those external things can play a little part in your first few ends of a game, but once you fine-tune that, off you go. So these greens here, so flat. Prepared well this morning. Unbelievable green staff here. Cut and rolled. And as Val said, 14.5 to 15 seconds. Probably might even get up to about 15.5 by early afternoon.
How much of a confidence booster would it be for England to come here on foreign soil, conditions that are suited to their opponents in the first match, and get a victory?
Yeah, match fitness plays a huge part. So preparation on a particular surface or in particular conditions. England's coming off what would be their summer, so they'd be playing, for those that like to, playing a fair bit of outdoor but on slow grass. And then maybe some of them would have prepared on indoor coming out for the fast greens here in Australia. But the biggest factor in all this is definitely the wind.
Right off the water.
For me, I can only think of think of Australia being probably the most windiest country I've played bowls in, having played so many times here, but you don't sort of seem to get the winds overseas that we can tend to get here. So
I think New Zealand is probably the other one that
definitely. So then that's that external factor, just trying to deal with it and combat the conditions and really focus on getting your job done and trusting what you see. As we see a pretty good correction here, coming in on a nice angle.
Yep, so good start from Jennie Sandford in this second end.
A pretty good correction. 2 good lanes, just slightly short with her first and lovely correction with her next.
Cheryl Lindfield will need to get one up. She was short with her first.
Weight looks better, just needs to navigate now. She has. That's a really good correction as well, just out of the count.
She'd like a little bit more weight with her last if she can get it.
Looking around and seeing Wales on shirts, Netherlands, Spain, Argentina. How good is that?
The Argentinians yesterday. Now, talk about love for one single human being. I've never seen it really happen before, but just randomly you just start hearing the Messi chants. They swarmed Neil Dalrymple, the World Bowls president, and just started screaming, Messi, Messi.
Yeah, that's right. It's their cultures and their cult heroes.
They absolutely love that man, and well, why wouldn't you really?
Jennie Sandford, she's just gone bang, put another one in there. So 2 ripping shots, both within 2 feet, over 33, 34 metres. So
really important here for Cheryl Lindfield to get close and give Serena Bonnell something to work with. Well, that'll do. Look at the correction there from Cheryl Lindfield. You can just see the line pretty similar on each occasion, and the weight better and better every time. That's the shot so far.
Yeah, and pure evidence of how important it is to try and stick to one hand early on in the game, get that rhythm going. Cheryl found her line fairly good with her first 2, just kept correcting her weight, trying to hit the same line, and keeping it simple, and then found the right weight with her last. So she didn't go forehand, backhand, forehand, just kept it on the one hand, corrected. And Jennie Sandford's played 2 great shots inside 2 feet, but Cheryl's come up with the goods and holding one for her skip. No better feeling early on in the game, crossing over, holding shot with the feeling that you can just try and add to that instead of playing some kind of chasing shot or running shot early on. The skippers want to get their rhythm as well.
They do. And how important is it, Baz, to, when Serena and Cheryl are obviously such good friends now after the time that they spent together in 2022, how important is it to get out there and know that you've got that camaraderie with your teammate and you know that you guys gel so well together?
Yeah, and all the planning, Val. So I know in previous events I've competed in, we have discipline notes, discipline meetings, and as you say, the bond as a friendship off the green can set up performance on green. What happens around Serena coming right down on a great track here? Well, that's really good shot, great opener.
I reckon that might have done enough for two, possibly.
Yeah, they can add all to the ingredients which you're speaking about, Val, about good on-green performance. But it's also, for me, I think the communication is so important when two players are in sync with one another. They just know what their needs and wants are and how to react towards one another, and that's just so important.
So that one there from Gill Platt going right behind.
I don't mind that.
No.
Fairly offensive. She was in there having a crack and trying to change that head up, and she's won the tee. Finds herself probably the one down, but getting that first bowl up early gives her a bit of confidence with her next. Serena just needs to find the outside of that bowl. Well, she has. I thought she was just going to clear it, but it's opened things up a little bit here. Will we see any weight? Okay. Out into the shadows. Needs to clear the front now. Just lacking a bit of weight. Great attempt. Really good line. So Gill Platt still wins the tee, but finds herself one down.
Really important for Serena and Cheryl, especially in their debut match. I know they've been to a Com Games before, but there's a different element of pressure here because it is a home World Boss Championships and they'd love to just get themselves on the board. Nothing quite like playing at home. Of course, we've got a 2 hour 15 time limit here, Baz.
Yeah, it's another factor. So one shot to Australia.
There it is. 1-1 to start proceedings here from two ends here at Broadbeach. We're on green 3 this morning.
Yes, great to see Tony Bonnell
supporting his wife
in the house,
as she did, or Serena did for Tony back in 2018 at the Com Games when he won gold.
Yeah, it's funny you touch on that because when you're just talking before, Val, about chemistry and camaraderie and teammates knowing each other's game, that was a really interesting scenario. 2018, Tony Bonnell playing second in the triples, but never called the head. And it was something that Josh Thornton and Ken Hansen worked on, that they felt that with Josh and Ken could really communicate slightly better and more effective, and they did that, and it proved to be successful, winning gold just 15 metres away.
Not far away at all.
So there you are. So there's those components of the game, maximising someone's strengths. Josh Thornton, good communicator and very energetic around the head, and his values were well exploited that day or that event and worked well with Ken Hansen. So these are the huge parts of the game where the training staff, managers, coaches work closely with their players to make sure everything's in sync.
Yep. It is certainly a team effort, not just on green, but off it as well, and the Australian high performance team. Even Leah Lazara looking after us now with sunscreen.
Cheryl and Lindfield only 2 feet short, right on the centre line. So good confidence booster, but unfortunately just needs to switch over now.
Yep, bowling into the shadows. The apartment buildings just cascading over us at the moment. Do apologise, our camera's a little bit jumpy.
Yeah, great shot. Forehand, backhand. That's brilliant leading. The shadow can throw some people off. It's one of those other things too. If you're just focusing heavily on just getting the bowl away and your rhythm and timing, things like the shadow shouldn't play a part, but some people it can.
Got Eric watching. Great to see this. Very impressed. Watching from Concord Bowling Club in Sydney. And then Kenneth watching from Scotland. Good evening to you. I reckon it'd be, nearly midnight over there in Scotland. Good end so far. This is probably the best head that we've seen, Baz.
Definitely. Yeah, all 4 bowls short of the jack, which isn't the end of the world, but both players will want to get at least one behind each, even if you're not actually scoring. So if Cheryl holds shot and gets one behind, that's even better. And same thing for Jennie here now. You know, if Jennie can try and get shot, but then if she doesn't, the contingency would be to get behind, which helps things for Gill. So we'll see if she can just try and promote her own here on the forehand. As you can see, nice call there from Gill. So Jennie Sandford looking to turn her own bowl up in the quest to get shot, and second chance is just to slide on past. If that stays on. So that's not wasted. Well done. That's great play. Very good play by Jennie Sandford to not waste that bowl, as we see there. So that has a lot of value, and that has to slightly play on Serena's mind as well. Do I cover now that they've got a bowl back there? So it's definitely a big game of chess, as they say. Chess on bowling greens. Yep. Always thinking 1 bowl or 2 or 3 bowls ahead. And the fact that, especially at this level, Jennie's played that shot really well. Gave it a chance and finished in a really good area.
Certainly did. And John Siteman, great to have your company. Good evening, Val and Baz, tuning in from Nova Scotia. Looking forward to the opening day of World Bowls, and a lot of late nights for him. We know Johnny from the Australian Open. He comes out every year.
Yeah, him and his mother, Anne-Marie, absolutely love it. I think they've been to 5 Australian Opens all the way from Canada. So it just goes to show for our overseas viewers, put it in your calendar for next year. Start using those freaking fly points.
Yep.
Yeah, good shot, Serena. In a really good home. I think she was just looking to promote Cheryl's bowls or get one behind, and she's done that well. So Gill Platt, forehand, looking to arrive here, sit the shot bowl or turn Jennie Sandford's short one up. Well, good attempt. Not too far away there. As we probably hear now, more voices, people starting to really get the heart rate up. We're hearing more noise from around the greens here, around the rinks. Players really starting to bring the energy, as opposed to the roll up and first end or two. Everyone just sort of absorbing everything.
Oh, once you're in competition mode, it is
you got to bring it
so different. It doesn't matter, like a roll up. Still, the intensity's not there. But as soon as you're playing for scores, it's when the intensity just increases up a notch. And as this match goes on and ensues, we're going to see a lot more intensity coming from all of these players. And we saw Scotland last year at the Commonwealth Games. The para ladies were fired up, weren't they, Baz?
Yeah, that's right. And you've got to bring it N1. You've got to literally flick the switch. You can't find yourself working your way into a game. And definitely not at this level, where you can find yourself, well down or not really setting the standards. And that's the thing with the external factors. If they're distracting you from being who you are and doing what you do, that's unfortunately can really deter you from being at your best. So it's really good head shaping up here. I'm interested to see if we're going to see some weight here from Gill with her last. She's lying a pretty good second that's hidden there, especially if she decides to play forehand.
Yeah, Serena, if this clears, that's a pretty good home, but it's just going to pull up. I think Cheryl was hoping to do the same. So let's see what Gill Platt conjures up with the final bowl of this third end. Of course, 18 ends to our 15 time limit here at Broadbeach.
Definitely slightly tied up, but a little bit of risk here too. I can understand Gill not wanting to run that red one up onto the jack for 2 or 3 down. So,
sorry, just 15 ends, Baz.
Yep, back-to-back ends for Australia. So 3 really good lead bowls from Cheryl Lindfield. So that's great for Cheryl now, really starting to feel her way into the game. Shadows now at about around the halfway mark, so it'll be gone probably in the next 20 minutes, half an hour. Sun gets over the top of the high rise. The temperature of the grass is also, obviously being in the shadows, a bit cooler. And once the greens warm up, they'll dry out and quicken up slightly. And then the opposite happens mid-afternoon. The grass will stand up when it cools off, and the green will slow down slightly.
Trevor Murray watching from Brampton in England. It's great to have everyone's company from all around the world. That's what we're going to see. Got some wonderful country colours. A lot of the open disciplines in action today as well. Women's singles, men's pairs.
Volunteers everywhere.
Yep.
Well done. Well done to all our volunteers. Everywhere you go this morning, you're bumping into volunteers, people helping out with all the things that go on behind the scenes.
Of course, those volunteers proudly supported by APIA, who are helping you live the good life and play bowls. And I'm sitting next to, well, an APIA ambassador himself.
Yeah, so such a great partner of Bowls Australia, doing great things, and that's right. That's what it's all about. It's that message, Val. We're seeing more and more people getting out there, especially post-COVID, giving things like bowls a go, and it's great to see. You're hearing the stories everywhere we go. And what I also like hearing is, Barry, I've taken up bowls, but I'm actually really enjoying volunteering down at the club as well. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. You know, I'm running the club championships, or I'm helping out outside, or so. To see the volunteers, people get involved in the sport of bowls, but not just for the sport, but to be really connected from a volunteer level is great to hear and great to see.
Certainly is. And I think the worry here for England now, Baz, Cheryl Lindfield has found her range.
Yeah, she sure has. And one thing I'm impressed with, now they're beautifully weighted bowls, and they're both within sort of the yard area, is Cheryl's last bowl in this direction was nearly a side resting toucher on her backhand. And so you know when you're in good touch and you're feeling confidence when you can change from forehand to backhand and still play well, as we see there. Great shot from Jennie at 20 inches short on the line. So Cheryl's just got to bring her line in a touch. She'll be confident she can play the same weight. And that's what happens, Val. Like I said, a few players will just be having a few things going on in their mind, a few little factors, and then bang, off they go. So
really good end from Cheryl. She did make the correction there in terms of that's probably her closest bowl, but Jennie will hold sway as the skips make their way down. She's still got one to come too.
Yeah, probably got in her eye as well. So Serena has still got that forehand open, and Jennie's definitely had to switch over here to the forehand. So sometimes you might not achieve the ultimate in getting shot, but you might just, you can see there, Jennie's gone from a beautiful bowl right on the centre of the line backhand to having to switch and find a new line. So it's a bit of a plan B result if you can make your opposition switch hands and try and break up their rhythm.
So Jennie Sandford, she takes the win as the leads cross. Now it's time for the skips. Gill, Platt and Serena, Bonnell. Australia have won the last two ends to take a 2-1 lead here.
Yeah, pretty good clean access here for Serena. Both skips really. I'm pretty confident here. Gill will just come down, look to turn Jennie's bowl up, and just draw inside Cheryl's wing bowls. That would be the first objective.
Yep.
So this is N4 of 15.
Yeah, Serena on a good track here.
She is, Barry, but it is going to go behind. However,
it's a good opener.
Very good home.
Yeah, so 2 feet past Jack high there for Serena, but that line will win the shot. So if she takes that 2 feet off and keeps that line, that'll be enough. So not much correction really needed. Just probably a bit of muscle memory. As we see Gill Platt here, she needs to work off that red one if she wants to count. Well, she's done that in the area and rewarded.
Sensational from Gill Platt. Also playing a really good match here. She was really close in the last end as well. So this is getting better and better.
Yeah, this is one of Serena's strengths. That's why she's out there skipping for her country. The ability to convert and play weighted shots.
Yep.
Not too far away.
No.
A couple of bowls high.
Oh, she almost got the result there, Barry.
We saw we saw a couple of those at the indoor, didn't we?
Yes.
A couple of weeks ago. But ideally, yeah, you're getting that result clean. You're coming down and trailing yourself. But when there's bowls up in the area, they can always be promoted or worked off.
That was very, very close. I reckon it missed the Jack by a whisker.
Absolutely shadowed it. Yep, no
perfect
doubt.
angle of it here from where we're sitting besides the green.
So Gill's done well there. She's actually put one right in that nest of red bowls. So Serena
We'll have to get rid of this clean maybe, or just pure draw, sit and stay.
Yeah, sit and stay, trail 2 feet, make a couple out of it. Probably if she keeps the same line and drops maybe a yard, should get back nicely. As we see Alan Faulkner behind the rink there, just having a chat with Cheryl, one of the coaches.
Now, Cheryl likes this.
She wants Jack now. Well, she's clipped the front. What an effort.
Not far away. So an opportunity for the first multiple of the contest here for Gill Platt.
How good was that to hear Serena yell out, Jack? You know, just hear that voice early on. That
she's very vocal, isn't she, Serena? She seems so relaxed looking at her body language.
Gill Platt's all over this.
Yeah, that'll do.
Great shot. So a bit of room opened up there. Was holding 2. Serena took one out, and Gill said, I'll put it back.
She did put it back, and that's a multiple for England, and they take a 3-2 lead as we near the fifth, or we commence the fifth end, nearly a third of the way through this. And no real indication as to who is looking more dominant. It's been pretty evenly matched so far.
Yeah, it's just great to see some of these players that got involved in bowls through, you know, their disability, or someone might have said, you know, have you ever thought about taking up bowls? They may have thought that there wasn't a sport available to them. We always think of Ken Hansen, 2018 Commonwealth Games gold medalist, playing a bit of local bowls up here on the Gold Coast. And the famous story is Brett Wilkie said, have you ever thought about playing representative para bowls? And Ken Hansen said no. And for those that don't know, Ken Hansen's missing one arm. And, yeah, within sort of 18 months later, he's winning a gold medal for his country. So
it's pretty unbelievable, isn't it?
It is. And if you know of anyone, or you know, it just goes to show it's what this sport's all about: inclusion, participation, getting out there and giving it a go. And it is for everyone, all ages and abilities.
It is. And after this, second match of the day, it is Australia and England again. Damien Delgado and Jimmy Reynolds up against Finn Kisser and Jack Pullen. Be Finn Kaiser, I think. Looking forward to that contest after this on Rinkside Live. And then after that, it's women's fours action. Australia against Canada.
Don't mind that from Cheryl. Jennie Sandford. That's a great opening bowl. And Cheryl, attacking lead shot. Don't mind that early, especially 3-bowl pairs. You can achieve something with your first bowl that isn't shot, it's getting past. And that just creates more opportunities with your next two. The other thing is you're not clouding the head. You're not getting in the way, keeping the hands clean for your skip. So nothing in the way for either skip at the moment. As we see Cheryl, should be just looking to make that correction, but still be positive, be confident, give it a little chance, sit or trail. on or beyond if you can. Just under the line. So two lines the same there for Cheryl.
Just needs to make that correction on the weight and should be fine. A lot of wonderful stories at this World Bowls Championships as well, Baz, not just from an Australian point of view, but from everywhere. And we had Renan and Maria, the Brazilian team, playing in the men's and women's singles, husband and wife pair. And Renan is actually a dentist.
Oh, excellent.
Coming from Brazil, has never competed outside South America, has competed as far as Argentina. But he and his wife making the trek down here for their maiden World Bowls Championships. They weren't there in 2016, 7 years ago. Their son lives in Melbourne, in Preston. Great to see such wonderful stories and narratives around this tournament.
The other thing too, Val, I'm feeling, I just get a sense of it that, some people out there are taking up bowls because of the coverage as well. There's more bowls on TV and the internet than there's ever been before. And that's networking now. That's the social media positives to come of it. Someone's watching a bit of bowls on TV. Sorry, what's this? I'm not sure what it is. And then, wow, I might give it a go. And for people out there live streaming games at club level to international level, bringing the sport to you and your friends and your networks, because it's all about promotion and sharing it across your networks to get people out there and giving this great game a go. And we're seeing Argentina, Brazil, these kind of countries, they may have come across bowls simply by you sharing something on social media about the sport you love. So that's what it's all about, telling a good story like Val just said then about people coming from different backgrounds and places. That's what I really love about the sport.
Yep. It is wonderful, and it's growing the connection between countries, I think, through mediums like Ringside Live and live streaming on Facebook. People can connect and get to know each other as well as this tournament. I saw members at Helensvale last night chatting to the Brazilian team, chatting to the Botswana team, and, it's just how you get to know people, and people can come back to this country and bowl at these clubs, and they know people.
Yeah, big network, the bowling community. Serena Bonnell needs to slide up under Cheryl's there and cut it back to one. She's going to be short. The other thing too, Val, what I really like too is the fact that you've got players of all ages. So you might be someone in high school, it might be someone that's retired, and they just didn't know that this might be the sport that changes their life. And I read recently Lance Pascoe from New Zealand, debuting for New Zealand in the World Champs. He said in his bio, best thing about bowls is making new friends and creating long-lasting memories, and that's so true. And a lot of players out here will make friends in this championship and stay connected for many years to come.
Yeah, you bang on the money, and I think you look at also the indoors that we had a couple of weeks ago, and a lot of those that tuning in now might not have seen that, but we had a 16-year-old Reece Finn Young, up-and-comer of the sport in this country and probably globally, against Kay Moran, who's been there and done that for Scotland, 16 and 49, a 33-year age gap. And the match was unreal. And Reece got the job done at 16.
Yeah, good luck to her. I was so excited to see her do so well, and they're the type of events where we run these events from qualifying at club level right through to all of a sudden you could be winning an Australian title representing Australia at a World Cup. So Serena Bonnell just missing short and then a little bit heavy with her last. Now she's got one to come. Taking a little bit extra time on this one. She is two down. The shot hasn't changed. I like what she's doing here. Just waiting for the information of Cheryl. The one over there at 4 o'clock might be in. So you're just trying to bowl a bowl to the area here. So as you can see, there is a path to the jack, but the percentages aren't that great. But you've just got to play a shot to the area. So when you're a number down, cut it back to 2, cut it back to 1. Serena, even if she can promote Cheryl's bowl 2 or 3 rolls, needs to hurry now. that should help a little. Might cut out that bowl at 4 o'clock.
Let's see what the result is. But England look to be making their move.
3 it is.
3. That is massive. All of a sudden, after the Aussies won 2 of the first 3 ends, England have collected the last 2 for a total of 5. From 2-1 down, they now lead at 6-2 after 5 ends.
Yeah, quite often, especially for people out there, clubland, quite often you probably don't even know it because you haven't looked at the card after the game, but there's so many positives in looking at the card. You might actually lose a game and win more ends, and that is a great thing to achieve if you can't achieve the ultimate. And
gives you more confidence.
No doubt a lot of teams in this championship will be reviewing their performance, reviewing the card, and unfortunately, 9 times out of 10, the one that comes back to haunt you is those numbers, the multiples. You know, the 3s and 4s at this level, especially in 6-bowl pairs. If you're dropping anything probably more than a 2, they're going to come back to haunt you, the 3s and 4s. They're the sort of the excess shots. So you can keep them to a 1 and 2. Much easier to recover, but you've got to win the ends. Get those ends ticking over, and you're well and truly into the game.
So, of course, Baz, all the para disciplines, 15 ends, 3-bowl pairs, singles, 21 up, 3-bowl pairs for open, 18 ends, 2-bowl triples, 18 ends, 2-bowl 4s, 15 ends. There are all of the formats here at the World Bowls Championships of 2023. Very, very exciting to be back here for the first time in 7 years. I was still at university the last time a World Bowls Championships was played.
Yeah, it doesn't feel so long ago, 7 years. I remember the World Championships very well. They put on an absolute spectacle, Christchurch. Greens were always good over there, as they are here. And that's a nice correction from Jennie Sandford.
Now, Jennie has just started to take control of this lead battle, and I think this is where we've seen a lot of the ends set up. Cheryl looked to be dominating a little bit, and Australia got those couple of ends. They only scored the singles, but then Jennie, the last couple, has really ramped things up and has helped England convert a 2 and a 3. Now, Cheryl Lindfield, she's got the weight here, needs to clear.
That's stiff.
Unfortunately, she doesn't.
Well, that bogey bowl up the front there, sort of 2 o'clock, as we see, sort of top right hand of the rink. That's what you call a bogey bowl. That's just playing in Cheryl's eye. Ideally you'd love to play that hand, the open hand, but you crash on that, you're well and truly out of the game. The fact that she's crashed on the other bowl, she's still in the game to some certain degree. And Cheryl can try and string 3 together, but might be gamble time now. Maybe switch 3 bowls to negotiate on her forehands. Try and play under that backhand. She happens to be a bowl tight. She might promote her own, but don't think it's in her way. She's under. And that's the issue with swapping hands a lot. You're sort of searching a little, especially early into a game. If you can just, Cheryl, forehand there, potentially just try and play another one up into the forehand area. And unfortunately, it's just one of those things. It's switching hands can just break the rhythm up. But at least she has finished behind, may have some impact on this end later on. But I'm confident Serena can draw one in there. She's got about 2 feet of room for the actual shot. Alan Faulkner, just having a chat with Cheryl there.
What a person to have in your corner. Alan Faulkner, a world champion, Commonwealth Games gold medalist herself. Made the move out here to Australia.
So, Gill Platt, good line, needs to find probably 4 feet of weight. Serena Bonnell, love to see her get it with her first, and so would she. get it with your first. It just takes a little bit of pressure off. Just dropped a multiple. You don't want to drop another one. Backhand it is. 2 feet of room for shot. She's got a bit of speed on this one. Connection. Well, still at least 2 to England. And she might have clogged up that backhand now.
As the Lindfield Bowls Club is watching, saying, is there a more confusing game name-wise? Jennie Sandford from our club against Cheryl Lindfield, who potentially our club was named after.
Wow.
I'm not sure it was named after Cheryl. She's born and bred here in Australia. But
there are those stories you're talking about, Val. Yeah, you hear some weird and wacky ones.
Yeah, very entertaining. So, yeah, Jennie bowling against a Lindfield, which is her club name. There you go.
That could be 3 or 4 shots now. The jack was moved. Great shot from Gill Platt. The jack's out in the open, but there is some bowls to negotiate on the way in. Well, Serena Bonnell, she can sit that bowl. She might have either got shot or cut it back.
Still 1 to England, as indicated by Jennie.
That's a big, big save.
Yeah.
3 or 4 down. Bowls in the way.
They're in big trouble. So now there's opportunities. Fiona Hall watching on. Hope you're doing well, Fiona. Got to meet her yesterday for the first time.
Well, Gill, she's given the shot away. Very unfortunate. That one stings.
Yeah, it does.
You're on the verge of getting another multiple, and Serena cut that back to 1, and then Gill's unfortunately given it away. So, as you can see, that bowl, I mentioned earlier, that bogey bowl, that's playing havoc for both skips right up the front there.
It is.
And it might as well be, you could put that in the boot of your car. That bowl has no value up there, and it just causes more havoc than any good. And as you can see, Serena didn't want to flirt with it, take the 1 and run.
Well, it's exactly what they needed just to get themselves back on the board here, the Aussies. They were down 6-2. It's 6-3 now in favour of England as we conclude the 6th end of the match. Australia get a little bit of luck, but sometimes, Barry Lester, that is what you need. And Cheryl Lindfield has brought the mat right up.
Yeah, Gill played a cracker with her first, trailed the jack, and then unfortunately, just gave it away. But if she had sat it with more weight, she could have been the hero, making 3 or 4. As we see Cheryl there, interesting to know if that's an Alan Faulkner-driven change. Mat right up at 3 metres short of the minimum. And the jack looks to be just short for me.
Yep.
We'll find out.
Are we going to get a tape measure here, Barry? Yes.
So the mat's about 3 metres off the minimum marker at the mat end, but the jack looks shorter than that at the other end. We'll soon find out.
That looks well short. Oh, that is close, but I think it is just too short. Let's see. Yep, that's been picked up and rolled back.
Well, we've got good eyes, Val. We've picked that, mate.
Yep.
We're 1 from 1 with the jack length, mate. We'll put that in now.
Well, we haven't quite lost the jack yet, but in the ditch. But Colin Bray, who's our resident jack counter, might have to mark that one in the book.
I do like that, though.
Yep.
A couple of average ends, you'd say, from the Aussie pair, and bang, just looking to find something new. Mat right up. Even just what's happening now can just change the momentum of the game, just change things up. Okay, England get the mat back and they get their jack length, but it's worth a try. Can breed some confidence from that.
And just try it again next time. Just have to get it. I reckon it was maybe 2 centimetres there. And also what I do want to comment on, Barry, is the Jackaroos are sporting the new kits, the Puma kits.
And the Volunteers.
Yep, they look absolutely sensational. A mountain of work is being done. Indigenous artwork on the side, and the Puma kits are looking brilliant. really great to see.
So this will just be starting to play on Cheryl's mind a little bit. I'm pretty sure almost the majority of her bowls have been narrow on the forehand in this direction, but wide. She's finished wide in the other direction. So just starting to play on your mind. Needs to just reset, not focus on where that bowl's finished. Just reset, go right back to the basics. Focus on how she gets her line and just add a little bit more to it. Okay, see if we can find a correction here for Cheryl. The weight was pretty good. That's the beautiful greens here at Broadbeach. You get nice sharp draw all day long, no matter what the speed. It's a lovely correction here from Cheryl. She's done this well. What a shot, Cheryl Lindfield.
That is sensational.
Reset. Throw it out. Back yourself in. And that's one thing you've got to do with these Tiff Dwarf greens. You've got to trust the draw. Bowls will get back for you all day long. They can even be waterlogged, these greens, and they'll still draw. They'll still draw. We'll see. Well, hopefully not, but if we do see any wet conditions over the next week or two, you'll notice that the greens will just draw all day long versus a bent green. Tiff Dwarf, just a sharper drawing leaf. So can Cheryl repeat the dose here? Yeah, pretty good lane again. Just falling short, but that's a lot of positive to come out of those two deliveries. Right down the spine of the rink there. Got to grab that. Stack it into your memory bank. Next time I play in this direction, grab that line. Think of the two positives of those two lines and keep running with it. The time of still trying to find your line and weight, well, that's gone now. Well and truly into this match. N7. Beauty about these greens also, both directions. Broadbeach, their rotation system here is phenomenal. Greenkeepers are all over it. Not only do they switch directions, north, south, and east, west, but they also move the rinks. So rotation of the rinks over the 2 weeks is so important to even the wear. And the wear can really play havoc with the drawing and the conditions of play, because if some areas do get a little bit worn, the bowls can react differently. So the greenkeepers are all over that. They'll have a plan drawn up on what greens they're going to use, what directions, and what colour, and where they're going to move their pegs. It's so important. They do such a phenomenal job. They're here at the crack of dawn, and you'll see them getting around all day long. They'll be preparing the greens and recovering the greens for the next 2 weeks after so much play.
So after a bit of luck from the last end, what can Australia do in this end? Serena Bonnell, she's gone close. That'll do for a second here. Asking Gill Platt the question. John asking what the pace of the green is at the moment. 14.5, but it's probably gone up a little bit since the start of the match. The sun has started to engulf this green. Shadows are slowly going away.
Flags are starting to move now off the east. So we've had a good southeaster for a good couple of weeks now. A lot of wind coming off the ocean. So let's hope that's about as strong as it gets. As the players are playing back into that breeze at the moment, we see I'm going to test myself with flags here. Japan, Korea, Argentina, Spain. How good is it to see all those flags up? USA.
Yep. Czech Republic up there as well.
Brilliant. 44 flags.
Switzerland. UA.
So if Serena can just slide past here. Oh, that's two ripping shots. One on, one behind. And as you said, Belle, the question's being asked now. Two down on the head. Do we see some kind of weight here trying to disturb the head? Or just a backhand draw?
It's going. Let's see where this ends up here. It's probably going to, if it clears, it's not a bad home to be in. Jill Platt can certainly work with that.
A great weight from Gill there. Lovely speed. Just to give her bowl a chance. Work off the wing bowl there. Trail the jack. So important, the leads, especially in 3-bowl pairs. Set things up for your skip. Serena added one already. Can she add another? Forehand it will be.
Serena Bonnell. A big collect here, or a multiple of any sort, would be massive for the Australians. And she's not far away.
Tracking well.
Just needs to stay. Doesn't want any jack movement. That is beautiful from Serena, but has it given a target here, Barry?
Well, it's definitely going to make Gill switch hands, which is never a bad thing. You know, oppositions would have had a shot on their mind, so Gill would have been all over just trying to trail that jack or draw the shot backhand. Now it's a reset for Gill.
Because she can spill into this middle bowl of the Aussies here. That jack splits wide. And this could be possibly a 4 if she executes it well, but we'll see.
Needs a split or turn the red onto the jack, but Gill's under here.
Yeah.
So Australia, back-to-back ends.
That's a 3. And all of a sudden, Barry, after 7 ends, we are back to a deadlocked game. 6 apiece. That is huge. Cheryl Lindfield setting things up, and then Serena with 2 absolute rippers.
And there she goes, Cheryl. The game plan is well and truly on. Nothing in sport is left to hope or chance. You've got to have a game plan. Go out, try and execute it. If it doesn't work, set up your contingency. What do you do next? And for Cheryl and Serena, it is mat up and a deep jack. This jack looks good. So they're all over that. That would have been practiced in training, setting up plan Bs. And that jack length would only be 24 metres. Very short. And Cheryl, no mucking around. She's right into it here.
Yep.
Tempo's lifted.
Yep. Keep the momentum going, though.
Yeah, look at this. Nice. 2
Cheryl.
feet away. Great starter.
Cheryl Lindfield. Very good start. Carla Pizzi wishing us a good morning, Baz. Good morning to you, Carla.
G'day, Carla.
Now, the pressure back on Jennie Sandford, who wrestled the momentum back from Cheryl a little earlier, but Cheryl's last end was very, very good.
Yeah, that's a nice reply
Yep.
from Jennie.
Massive. Right behind. So asking the question of Cheryl, and I reckon she's setting this end up. Cheryl just shorter of her previous bowl.
Yeah, free run here for Jennie on the backhand. This is where it's so important. We naturally just think, yes, let's draw another one, but probably the most important thing here is to slide on past. Then that just starts to make the opposition's weight control more perfect. So that there just has so much value. Keeps the head clear for her skipper if she wants to trail it later or change it up. And likewise for Cheryl now. She needs to try and get something past for her skip. Something to play to.
And again, a little short. So Jennie now needs to really take a stranglehold on this end for England and put the pressure on Serena Bonnell.
Well, can you feel that, Val? Some nice sunshine.
Yep, it is nice. I haven't felt this in months.
It's lovely. Is there some jack movement here from Jennie? Well, not quite, but that's much better. Taking away the target for Serena. So Serena's going to have to try and dead draw this now versus maybe play a little bit of weight. So 3 shots it is. That's great lead bowling. Not only two right near it, but one in behind.
Well, the points for this end, they go to Jennie.
This is what I call the pressure act shot for Serena. Yes, she's down 3, but it's more so that there's no bowls passed. So this is a real pressure act for Serena. She's got to try and achieve 2 things here, not only shot, but ideally finish behind, because if she gets shot and finishes jack high or short, Gill Platt can still trail the jack back for 4. So this is where that pressure act really comes into play. Seeking perfection here, Serena Bonnell. Getting one close and past jack. Let's see how she goes. On a good track. She wants some contact.
Yep.
Well, it's not bad. She's achieved the first thing.
Yeah.
Got a bowl
She
past.
just needed a little bit less weight. If she ended up riding between those bowls, that would have been the perfect scenario.
Okay, Gill Platt. Looking to get another one in there. And she's done it. That should be enough to count, I believe. Yep, so that's 4 shots. Still no real target for Serena. Has to be a dead draw here. This is where the heart rate just gets up a little. Don't want to focus on outcomes. Just focus on routine. Stay positive. Back yourself in here.
What she got.
Needs to hurry.
It's not going to. So this is now, the pressure is well and truly on Serena Bonnell here with her final. And what Gill Platt needs to do is put in a 5th.
She does, but nothing that would create a target for Serena. Well, she's got a bit of weight on this.
Yeah, she's gone into the ditch.
Yeah, that one's done.
It's okay. She's still got 4, so the pressure's still on Serena. So let's see what the Australian can do. This is the first big test of her tournament.
Looks to be under Val.
Yep, watches intently, but
needs a result here. Needs a promotion or a slide. Not going to get it.
She cut, I reckon, 1 out of that 4. But nothing to wrestle the shot back. Can Gill Platt put in another here and really heap the pressure on the Australians?
Looking good.
This is looking magnificent, Barry.
Touch the jack and that just shuts it right down. Wow, 4 shots. That's a great end by England.
Just when the Australians got things back level. I think they're going to measure here for a possible 5th here. 4 taken out. Let's see. This is huge if it is.
Yeah, Serena probably a little bit stiff with her first. She had to be there, just couldn't get a thick enough grip on one of those back bowls and stay around. Just got a thin edge and slid on through, but in a perfect world, you just want to be getting on the mat with, as we see, that's not going to make it. So it's
4.
4 it is. Okay. So Cheryl just not quite hitting the mark there, but she's been going good the last 4 or 5 ends. And that was the new length too, so.
Well, the Australians will be disappointed with that after being 6-2 down, or 6-2 down. They clawed it back, got it to level, and they're down by 4 yet again.
We're moving at a good rate too, Val.
Yep.
Getting through the ends very easily. As we saw Cheryl last end, I just picked up on, I thought definitely her first bowl, once that jack was rolled, there was no mucking around. She was into it, and that's good. Running with the momentum. May have just gone a little bit quick, but that's where you can get caught up in the tempo and the moment of the game. Just try and really rely on what you can control and what your speed looks like.
Across the halfway point of this match.
That's almost ditch to ditch. Definitely our longest end for the match. Jennie Sandford said, you know what? Dropped a number in this direction last time. Let's try a different length and see how we go. So the jack's on the tee there, as you can see. She's got a great start up.
She does. Needs it to pull up, and that will. Gill Platt very, very happy with that. That's in a really good spot, Barry.
Yeah, Jennie Sandford there using the balancing aid, which is great. That's another thing too for people out there. If they're having any issues with hips and knees and that, what's one of the factors? Like the bowling arm, the balancing aid. Great to see that. But technically very, very sound for me, Jennie Sandford. As we see a lovely shot from Cheryl.
Yep.
Both players adapting to the long end. As we see Jennie set up here. Nice, really nice grip of the bowl. Very square to her target. Look at that. Nothing can really go wrong there. Shoulders nice and square. Nice bend in the arm and beautiful release.
So let's see. Cheryl has the shot at the moment. This one needs to hurry.
Yeah, nice line again.
Yeah. Her line has been perfect. So Cheryl, what can she do? She lost the lead battle in the last end. 3 short bowls that didn't help. Needs to be up again.
Yeah, just missing under. First one was all over it. Okay, Jennie Sandford. Both bowls right down the middle. Hit that line again. And find the weight. Nice extension there. She got the weight this time. Definitely looked like with better extension there. Going to get down.
It won't.
Yeah, it's a nice shot.
But I don't think it'll... Oh, it might do for shot, Baz.
Yeah, it's close.
I thought...
You could
I
see
really
technically...
thought that wasn't going to get there, but it did.
You could definitely see in her technique there. That one had better momentum through the delivery, and she got the reward, Jennie. But Cheryl is not far away.
Get rid of it. Yep, she can.
Well,
and
when
it's
you're
actually
up,
ended up in a pretty good home.
Yeah, amazing what happens when you reach. You know, that's great from Cheryl to get her last bowl not only up and in behind, but she's clipped the Jennie Sandford bowl on the way through, removed any hope of a measure for shot, and picked up the lead shot. So,
and that backhand shot for Gill is actually quite hard to try and spill the jack towards those, or trail the jack towards those 2 back bowls.
Yeah, now all of a sudden it's on Gill to draw when down. And at this stage it's only just the one, but she wants to try and get the shot back early. That's the key to the game. Don't want to be chasing with those last few bowls. So Gill Platt, forehand. Long end this. Almost ditch to ditch. No, missing under.
So an opportunity for Serena Bonnell now to ask the question. Jodie Nikolic watching on as well, one of our pathway para-jackaroos. She's an absolute star both on and off the green from Western Australia. Great to have your company, Jodie. Hope you're going well.
Serena Bonnell on her forehand. About a metre of room to add here. Needs to get down now. Not going to. Well, if she falls, might be a chance there. Could be 2. Just did enough late. Fairly big correction required here from Gill Platt. Both line and length.
What has she got?
Much better angle into the jack here.
Jennie's haunched over here. She quite likes it. Is it going to go through the gap? Yes, it is. Good line, though. Massive, massive bowl here for Serena. It's a penultimate bowl of this 9th end as we move into the second half of this contest. First ever para session at the World Bowls Championships.
She's played it well. Just a matter of weight now. Loving that line.
She wants it to stop. It just settles in between. Needed a couple of inches less weight, and she was golden there, but She'll have one more to correct. Doesn't matter what the result is. Australia just need to win this end.
Gill Platt from 4 up last end to currently, I believe, 2 down. Needs a big bowl. She's very high.
Yeah, not going to get down at all. So Serena Bonnell with a big opportunity here.
You won't see that often. I know Jennie Sandford's last bowl was fairly close, but you won't see 5 out of 6 bowls that far away very often at this level. It's a bit of an end-off for England. Can Aussies capitalise with a multiple?
Serena Bonnell. This is huge. Needs it to settle and stop.
Sit the back blue.
It just goes past. It might have done enough, though. Has it done enough? They survey. They watch. I reckon we're going to have to get the tape here, Baz.
Yeah, there's a bit going on. There's all those back bowls there. From where we're sitting, I like Serena's wing bowl as a counter. They'll go to England's nearest.
Yep.
And then
I like Serena's last bowl as a counter.
Yeah, it fell in pretty sharply late too. I didn't see it getting down, and it got down. So yeah, we're about to find out anyway. So find out which is the nearest English bowl. That one there, or the bowl over here at sort of 7 o'clock. So that one's in.
Now, are they going to measure that wing bowl?
I think they've conceded that one already. Yep. I think it's 3.
We'll find out.
So it's 2 to Australia.
Yep, 2. But massive in the context of things because, again, they were 4 down. Now they're only 2 down. 10-8 in favour of England. Doug, it's a 15-end contest here. And I think the most important thing for Australia, they lost to England in the pool stage of the Commonwealth Games last year, 22-5. They would love to get the win. Just ensure a little bit of confidence. Cheryl has put the jack into the ditch. So the greens, we know now, well, the sun is pretty much engulfing almost the entirety of the green here, Baz. So they're going to speed up. But again, England get an opportunity to dictate their own length.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about that jack length with Cheryl. They lost a 4 trying that jack length 2 ends ago in this direction. I didn't think they'd try and do it again. But they've lost the jack, so maybe that might have been a good thing.
Well, the thing for Australia is the last time they've had to roll the jack back, so when Cheryl's jack roll was a bit too short, England rolled it, Australia scored a 3.
Yes.
So will it happen again? Will history repeat itself, and will Australia take the lead?
So much longer than what Cheryl was after this length. This would be nearly almost maximum here. Jack's on the tee, as you see there. Matt just off the tee, but that's a really long length, and they've clearly made it known, England, that they're going to try and play long.
Yep. Well, I think they've seen that a lot of Cheryl's bowls have ended up a little bit short.
Yeah, and that's a perfect lead bowl for Cheryl Lindfield.
Cheryl says, do what you will.
So there you go. So that's what I was saying. I think it was a blessing that Cheryl lost the jack because after losing a 4 on the length that they were trying to play, lose the jack and next minute you draw a side toucher, it just goes to show sometimes, yeah, there is other ways of sort of scoring or finding some momentum in the game, and it's not always on you. Sometimes the opposition can play into your hands, and Cheryl definitely seems comfortable on the longer ends, as we saw last end, long end, and didn't seem to struggle. As we see a nice reply.
Oh, wow, bowl for bowl.
This is what we've come to see from these players over the years. Commonwealth Games, World Championship level. We're going to see a lot of this over the next 2 weeks. Conditions are perfect for bowls.
They are.
Shadow's just left the green, or it's just on the edge of the east side.
So, Baz, the para events all conclude this weekend at Club Helensvale.
That's good bowling, Cheryl Lindfield.
It is.
2 inside a yard over 35 metres.
And up next for both of these two teams, Scotland and England in the Battle of the Northern Hemisphere. They'll take each other on. And then Australia will be up against Thailand. And New Zealand up against Hong Kong, China.
Jennie, Sandford, just missing high. I don't mind that as a home, though. Just 2 feet past Jack high has some value for any Jack movement. Serena will be no doubt, if Cheryl doesn't change up, Serena will be definitely no doubt getting in there with some form of weight, either sit or trail. Cheryl can get the shot with her last added bonus.
Right now, Baz.
Good weight.
What has she got?
Nice attacking weight there. I like that.
Jimmy Reynolds and Damien Delgado leading 14-4, Barry, over Thailand.
Yeah.
And then the Aussie vision impaired team of Jackie Hudson and Jake Felberg, they lead Scotland, the Com Games gold medalists, 11-7. So, good start for Australia this morning. Aaron Wilson in action in the men's singles. Can't see a score, though. Oh, sorry, men's pairs. Sorry. Didn't say teasy there. Women's singles in action, men's pairs this week.
Yeah, Aaron Wilson trying to go back-to-back.
Yep.
Gold medal in the men's pairs with Wiz, Brett Wilkie, 216.
So, really good head here. N10. This is a really pivotal one because Australia looking to get themselves back in the contest. England.
Yeah, Jennie Sandford, that was magic bowl. Yep. That's it's as good as it gets, especially over the length. So it's important to really focus on that. You know, this game is not easier over any certain length, short or long, but you've come out to another country, you've flown X amount of hours, you're prepared the best you can, and you're playing on surfaces you won't see anywhere in England. And you've said over 34, 35 metres, I'll put 2 bowls inside 8 inches, one of them being a toucher. That's what it's all about. And that's kudos to Jennie and Gill for these conditions. So we're right into the thick of things here. 10th end, and the players, as you can see, 1 bowl short of the jack. The players are really lifted. Serena needs to try and cut this back early, though. Choosing forehand. It is either or, backhand trail, forehand sit.
Trav asking if there's live score updates of the other games. There are. You can go to world2023.bowls.com.au and head to the website and you can find all of the live scores for all of the events going on at the moment. There's so much that we can't bring you updated on. We can only see sort of some of the things that are happening around us. So Serena Bonnell under a little bit more pressure here.
Yeah, it's a tricky, hard head to get out of here, Val. It's forehand. For me, there's only one result. That's sitting both bowls. It's going to have to be with weight.
Well, she's gone with that, Baz. And Cheryl's liking it. Cheryl is really liking it, but
I can sit the back one, reduce it back to 1 maybe.
Not too sure.
Yeah, it's a good shot.
Two more for Gill Platt. 1 more after this one.
Gill Platt, backhand. I think she was just trying to play that first. That's good home. Serena's got to be careful here because the same bowl she can sit her own out.
And she doesn't want to at all.
No. 1 down's not all bad. But there is an opportunity to actually score a multiple now on the backhand. I think she has to go with it, and she is.
First match of the tournament. You want to get off to a winning start here. Start off right. What has Serena Bonnell got?
So it'll be backhand with, I would have thought, a couple of feet of weight, looking to sit the shot bowl or trail the jack. And it's on its way. Needs to hold.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to, Baz. So, barring catastrophe, this is going to be a score to England. Gill Platt.
Yeah, good call here from Jennie. No danger forehand. If anything, can make a number here. Blue onto the jack for 2. Working off the red. Sit the red for 3. Great call from Jennie. And that's that trust in pairs. They've got to know each other's calls and back each other up.
And they would have been training for a long time before this. She's not too far away here.
Played it well. Oh, that's as good as it gets. She might have made
is a
3.
3, I reckon. Yep.
That's the shot of the match for me.
Huge. Absolutely huge from Gill Platt. And all of a sudden, this is the biggest margin of the match so far.
No second guessing at all from Gill Platt there. She looked up, saw Jennie's call. She knew what she wanted and then played it. There wasn't any debate or confusion. And that's where, at all levels of the match, when selecting teams, when working on combinations, if you can have full trust and back each other up, not only with your play but your calls, you are well on your way. Commentated the Australian Open pairs final on this green a few years back. Robbie Wild and Sean Baker won the title that day, and their combination and chemistry as best mates off the green was as good as you'll ever see. Faith and trust and support they had in one another's calls. It was one of those moments where you just realise there's so much more to the game than playing good bowls, that you really need to have that team morale and chemistry going for you.
Well, Chrissy and Alan.
Yeah,
you
definitely.
can look at what they have.
Yep, for sure. And that's that trust and then friendship they've built over the years. Starting to heat up now. It's quite warm. Sun is over the building. And the shadow is gone.
Now, how important was that missed jack roll in the last end, Baz? Cheryl.
Great reply from Cheryl.
Yeah, beautifully done there, but how important was it?
Yeah, I've played against players that deliberately throw the jack in the ditch. They don't want to. They just want to get in the opposition's head, make them roll the jack, give them another thing to think about. There's different ways. There's different methods out there, and at the end of the day, you've just got to be one step ahead of yourself. So if you've unfortunately dropped a number on a certain length and then you get the jack back 2 ends later, unfortunately you'll see a lot of people just roll the jack into the same spot where they just dropped a number. And you just need to have that team talk or have those contingencies in place where you're like, well, we've got the jack back. We played in this direction 2 ends ago. We lost the number, ditch. Well, we're not going to do that again. And just be conscious of all those components of the game. As we see Cheryl, they're 2 really good lead bowls. 1 on, 1 behind. Just dropped a 3, trying to chase that back, with 4 ends to play and putting that bowl into a really good spot. Winning that lead battle. Jennie needs something close here. She's not far away. Well, sliding past. So Cheryl's done her job so far. Can she make it 2? It's a great response from Cheryl. Needs to push past the front, this one.
So, yeah, this is really interesting now because Australia are looking okay in this end. If they can get a multiple back and reciprocate what England just scored and rectify that situation, they're right back in this.
the way it's situated at the moment, nice clean run for Serena on the forehand.
And she'll have last bowl as well, Baz, which is mightily important.
Yeah, if Gill can get the shot here with her first, that really does sting the Australian pair. After Cheryl's good lead bowl there.
I can inform you, Baz, that Alan Ryan has her first win under the belt at the World Bowls Championships of 2023 in the women's singles. She defeated the Falkland Islands as she looks to become the third bowler in history to do the Commonwealth World Bowls Championships double behind David Bryan and Margaret Johnston.
Yeah, good news. Good news for young Alan. First World Bowls.
Serena just going to go around here.
Yeah, I like that though.
Yep, not a bad home.
Yeah, no targets for Gill here. It's really going to have to be a draw bowl. Gill has to find a lot of weight.
Having said that, her drawing has been exemplary so far. Sensational.
The line might work if the weight's really good. Is it going to get back though? So just pulling up.
So, massive bowl again for Serena Bonnell.
Yeah, needs to cash in here. She has a metre of room to count.
A multiple is really the only scenario that Australia want here. Yeah, they'd like to score, but...
Yeah, that would be ideal. Definitely a multiple any stage, but...
Yeah. Let's see where this one ends up. Cheryl just away a little bit here, but she'll move in a second. I reckon she might reveal...
That's enough.
A second shot. It might have done enough. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, it's two for me, Val. It's two for me.
I trust your eye more than mine, Baz.
Gill Platt. Two down here. She needs to get around her own. Fall in off the wing. She might have tapped that. Well, she's tapped that bowl over. Not quite, I don't think, the count.
So this is big now because we think it's a two. If Serena can put a third in, it just pretty much cancels out that 10th end where England scored a triple themselves.
Yeah, Serena Bonnell on the backhand. Just repeat the dose. Same bowl.
Needs it to stop. Needs it to stop. It won't. Not a bad effort.
Two it is.
So no major harm done for England. They still hold a 3-shot buffer. But now they're within an end of regaining the lead here, Australia. Well, they were before, but they would have needed a full count to do so. Now things are a bit easier for them. 3 behind, 4 ends to play. Really great morning here on the Gold Coast. Couldn't think of more perfect conditions to be playing in for the first day of World Bowls Championships action in over 2,400 days. It's been a long time coming. We've endured a lot of lockdowns, a lot of pandemic talk, but we are back. It's been 2 Commonwealth Games since that last World Bowls Championships, Barry, on the Gold Coast and in Birmingham.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a pretty sad experience for the athletes to go through what they did back in 2020 to get the news that.
And sure enough, that's where it's come to rest.
Bigger and more important things.
No forgiving when you're cutting your grass here. They're going to punish you every time.
Yeah, as soon as your bowl starts to just...
It's got to get a bit of the jack. It has.
Stay this side of the blue and...
In Hong Kong, 2025. So Cheryl a little bit short with her opener there. So Jennie Sandford with an opportunity to get herself into the end and take the early ascendancy, which she has done.
Yeah, Cheryl really needs to reply pretty quickly here.
Yep. She needs to get one either on or behind.
Absolutely. Yes, no doubt about that.
Because that short bowl is going to mean nothing. It's more just going to be some obstruction.
Yeah, this looks better for me. Better rotations as that's spinning down into the head. Cheryl, Lindfield, have you corrected? Yes, you have. Great shot.
That is monstrous from Cheryl. Anything you can do, Jennie, I can do better. This is my home state.
Jennie Sandford, good weight on this one as well. Well, that's going to go to a great home.
Yep, not bad at all.
It's going to slide in behind there. So
the lead battle has proven to be extremely important.
And probably the biggest and probably the most important key factor. I think outside of a couple of skip shots, I think the lead battle is really going to determine how this game pans out.
You are 100% on the money, Baz, because you just look at it all and
great weight from Cheryl again, just missing under. So 4 bowls remaining for England this end to try and get the shot back. Jennie Sandford on the backhand. She can either trail the jack or slide under and sit the bowl. She's played pretty good weight and finished in a good home. So head set up well for both skips. Serena can get a clean run at this to add, and so can Gill to try and get the shot back. So we're in for a cracking 6 deliveries here. It's a big moment in the game. 12th end. England score. They can break away a little bit, and if Australia score, well, they get the important mat back and play their length. But as I said, Val, we're ripping through these ends. It's players are getting through the ends quite quickly.
They are.
And we'll see a little bit of the opposite later on. Just the energies levels will just drop away slightly. Long days. 3 games in a day.
Especially in the sun as well. You need to keep hydrated.
Okay, Serena Bonnell, backhand. Jack movement would be ideal, just to tuck it round the corner, make it harder for the opposition. Just doesn't want to go anywhere near that front one of England. Well, she tucked it round the corner. Doesn't want to.
She's trailed.
Go with it. Oh, it's a good play. Just backfired a touch, but I don't mind it. It's going to be pretty hard for both teams now, but if England had have trailed it, they'd be currently holding 2. Serena wanted to get in there first, which is a good offensive play.
So 1 to England at the moment. What's Jill Platt got?
Well, she's played it perfect.
What a
Slid
Jill
under the
Platt
front for
got.
2.
Beautifully done.
Oh, that's a great shot. Her weight was spot on there, Jill. Worked under that front bowl. She had it connected. That would have been no good, but did it the hard way. Negated the front one. Now, Serena Bonnell, she's got a good shot on here. Backhand with weight. Take a couple of England bowls out or get to the jack. Cheryl's wanting it to hold. Oh, she's turned an Australian bowl up. Might have cut one out.
Jeez, hasn't even done enough, maybe.
Jennie Sandford's indicating it's 2. So we got 2 shots to England here, and this head's starting to get a little bit messy for Australia. The saviour would be that front red bowl to try and get it up onto the jack or into the English shot bowl. And that's a nice shot from Gill into a good area. Jill Platt there. And this is where communication's so important. Great call there from Cheryl. Just to get that red bowl a couple of turns. Pretty much the same bowl from Serena. Clutch shot required here. good weight here. Wanting it to hold, clear the front.
Got
split and run.
Through.
Well, what an effort, Serena Bonnell. Couldn't have played it much better. Gee, that was a top effort. Great weight, looking to promote the red bowl through the English bowls or get the jack and just halving off.
This is panic stations, though, because Gill Platt hasn't needed many invitations to insert herself into each head and secure multiples. And I'm not sure it's done enough for a third. Find out. Just the two. So all of a sudden, the previous end cancelled out. 15-10, 3 ends to play, Baz. Australia need to make their move now.
Yeah, they got a multiple in this direction 2 ends ago. That's what they'll be hanging on to. The fact that they've done it before, they can do it again. Sometimes just the way the trends work in some games as well. You seem to score in one direction more than the other. But with the Aussie pair winning the previous end in this direction, they've got to run with that. Think positive. As Jennie Sandford losing that jack. Got some wheelchair bowlers out on the green 3 today.
Great to see. And Jessie Nerona watching on. Big finish, ladies. And certainly will beat Serena and Cheryl. We know that they do not die wondering. Amy, you can check all the VI bowlers and the scores and all of the open disciplines as well. world2023.bowls.com.au. All of the live scores will be there. Just navigate your way through. Unfortunately, we don't have vision on a lot of the scoreboards that are happening right now.
Okay. Jennie, after Cheryl had the jack roll, she's nailed it. Jennie Sandford, right on top of it there.
And we mentioned that lead battle, Baz. Jennie's last end was really good. Set things up for the English.
Yeah, Cheryl just needs to be confident with this one. Give the bowls a chance. She's just falling under there. Attacking line, just not quite the right weight.
So to progress through this group, you have to finish in the top 4 of the 6 teams, Baz, to get through to a knockout semi-final.
And also shots will play a big part in that.
Exactly. You don't want to get blown out of the water.
Jennie Sandford, as I mentioned, Val, the lead battle will have a huge saying who wins this game.
Yeah.
And Jennie Sandford's just gone bang, bang in the real clutch time in this match.
She's really tightening the screws. Jennie Sandford.
Look at her technique.
Yep.
Oh, nice. Oh, just a really good point of release.
She's locked in. And I tell you what, this doesn't look too bad either.
She can get behind. It's even better. Well, she's done that.
Oh, yeah.
That's great leading. Well, Cheryl Lindfield, big bowl required here. Can she reduce the count or create a better looking head for Serena? No, missing under.
She's not too pleased with herself, Cheryl, but Serena Bonnell, we know what she's capable of. This is a must-win end for Australia. If they lose it, they go down at least a full count. If they win, just narrow things back enough that they can pull the margin back. Of course, there are draws in sectional play. You get a point for draws. 3 points for a victory.
I think we're going to see some decent size weight here from Serena Bonnell. I'm just sensing that She's going to try and maybe attack here. Maybe not with her first, but I think it's shaping up that going to need a bit of a clean out. But Gill Platt, it's an interesting head for her also. It's a very good 2, but doesn't want to fill that gap. If Gill puts one in between the first and second bowl, the target goes from pretty much only a 1-bowl target to a 3-bowl target. So very strategic thinking here. Had a chat with her coach. Coming back to the mat now. Big moment in the match. Yes, they've got 2, but don't want to make it a 2 that's easier for the opposition. So Gill Platt, forehand. Even if she just beats the 3 bowls of Cheryl Lindfield out there on the wing, just achieve another sort of bowl within the yard. She's done that. Serena, does she try and work on something close with her first or get stuck into this? I'm more than happy to be wrong, but I think it might be time.
Serena Bonnell.
Okay, forehand. Yes, we're seeing some form of a weight here.
This is huge. Needs to make some sort of connection.
She sure does. She's
Not
trying
far.
hard here, Val. Both bowls.
Gap.
She's got the gap. Any touch on the shot bowl, I would have thought she would have got shot then.
That was so close. You couldn't hit that gap if you tried.
No, I did sense weight coming though, and
Oh, she's got 2 more in the tank.
connection, half the shot bowl, and then stay on the second shot for 1 is huge. Massive result. Even Jack square on the nose might bounce forward, spring out. Well,
Gill Platt. That'll do for, it's probably a 5th right now.
you couldn't have strategically walked up and put that bowl in a better spot to nullify Serena Bonnell's forehand runner here. I think she's either got to go quicker for the jack or back to the draw.
Well, she's still stuck on that line, on that forehand.
Clear run. She's
Yeah,
close here.
Not far. Not the gap again, surely.
My God.
Oh, my word. Well, she's cut it down.
2 really good shots from Serena Bonnell there and no reward at all. She's cut it down all right. Still 2 down though.
It's just enough of a gap that it hasn't created a huge target.
She's achieved 3rd shot, which means if she takes first and second shot out, she can score. They must score here.
This is under.
So backhand, looking for both bowls.
Has that cut the backhand off, though?
Or forehand draw, Serena Bonnell. Does she stick to what she just played? 2 goes. Or does she look for both bowls in the backhand? Let's find out.
Serena.
Forehand it is.
Sticking with her rhythm. How is she looking, Baz?
Looks to be
This
under.
is under.
Doesn't want to touch that bowl.
No, and she
3
has.
absolute
and
stiff
that's-
results from Serena Bonnell.
Has that knocked it in for a 3rd? Yep. So now the equation all the more difficult for Australia
Yeah, it's got to reduce now.
because there's 2 ends left to win it. They need a 5 and a 4.
Yeah,
To tie it, they need 2 4s. So obviously it's doable in 3-bowl pairs, but it is difficult.
it's one of those ones here where, same thing, you got to revert to your training. I know the Australian team do a lot of scenario training. You know, put yourself in positions 5 or 6 or 7 down with a couple of ends to play, and knowing your go-to lengths, how you go about chasing if you need to. And the first thing is, it's a no-brainer. You've got to reach. So you've got to play a little bit more of an attacking draw style. If Cheryl doesn't win the crossover here, her bowls must be past Jack. Put them into a scoring area. Work to the percentages. And take your learnings. That's a how stringent the HP program is with BA. So professional. They'll sit down, they'll debrief what worked, what didn't, and set up for the next game.
Australia, Damien Delgado and Jimmy Reynolds, who will be covering next against England. They are in a very good position, 16-10 over Hong Kong, China. They're just a few rinks away. We'll see if we can try and get an update on the Aussie Vision impaired. But if we can't, well, 2023.bowls.com.au is where you can find the live scores. We can bring you that Jake Felberg and Jackie Hudson, with their directors Rob Hudson and Cody Felberg, lead Scotland 16-9. Jake Felberg from Bagara. Jackie from Fingal Bay.
So Cheryl Lindfield's, she's ticked the first box, got her first bowl passed. I think it has to be backhand trail now.
This has been...
Backhand trail the jack for 2.
Yep. It's been a mighty performance from England, hasn't it?
Oh, very impressive.
You know,
I'm very impressed with Jennie Sandford, mate. That's been great leading Val. Very solid.
When you look at what both of them have done, I think, you know, they've locked in, they've been asked the question, and they've had the answers on every occasion as Cheryl almost gets the result she was after.
Oh, that's a cracking shot. Same bowl with her next, and she can make a 3. That's the bonuses of giving every bowl a chance. You can halve and trail and edge and put bowls into good areas. So well done so far from Cheryl. If Jennie can put one past Jack here, though, that makes it hard for Cheryl, especially if she's on the inside of this one. Oh, that's almost perfect.
Oh, wow. Jennie Sandford has been monumental.
Yeah, she's definitely got the 3 Brownlows for me. Petrarca.
You reckon he's got it?
3 Petrarcas. Cheryl Lindfield, well done, well done. That's a great reply. Maybe just down, but that's really good shooting. 1 on the forehand, 2 on the backhand. Versatility, and has given Serena a chance here. Yeah, I've got Petrarca, mate. I'm looking at it with one eye open, though, of course.
And that eye is red and blue. I think Nick Dacos is going to be pretty hard to catch.
More impressed with my other boys, Chelsea, mate. Great win the other night.
Who'd they play?
It was Luton Town, but still. Sterling's back.
You just need to get the wins, mate.
Nicholas Jackson. Look out, Chelsea. As we talk about Chelsea, the England team here, Sandford and Platt, been very impressive.
Sandford Bridge.
Sandford Bridge. You're on today, mate.
I might as well just finish off now. That's it for me for the 2 weeks. Let's see.
I think Jill Platt just needs to play positional bowl here. Something.
Yeah, she's done that.
Yep. Got the tee covered.
Australia need a 4 minimum here to give themselves any chance of going into that final end with some sort of hope. A 3's okay, but you know they need big collects here.
Serena Bonnell, such a classy player. Got all the shots in the book. Backhand. Sit the shot bowl or trail the jack out of there, create an opportunity. She's fairly close here. Can she hang for the shot bowl? Oh, going to a good home. So it's 2 or 3 Australian bowls over there together. And Jennie Sandford, she's all over this. Asking her skip to put a bowl there.
So let's see if where this one goes. So it goes around the back there, just constructing things really well, aren't they, the English?
Yeah, and that's right. Just monitoring everything, being very cautious. They know what Australia's up to, chasing a number.
Here is an end to go after this, of course, even if the result is beyond doubt. Baz will play it out because shots up do count in the pool stages. Now,
Serena just missing high here.
Yep. So she'll have one to do something about it. But it could be a case of a dead rubber to finish the match in terms of the last end, with the way things stand at the moment.
Okay.
So this is it, Baz.
Yeah,
she
Serena
needs a
Bonnell.
result.
Yeah, what she needs is jack square, sit the back blue bowl right behind the jack, and then the jack just sort of hang around that pocket, so that pocket about 4 feet back. So jack and then half the blue bowl. It's a mighty attempt, just missing high. Beautiful weight.
So that will do for England. That's one. And they are happy. We've got one end to come, but it doesn't mean Australia just need to try and get as many shots back as they can, because England will start their campaign off with a win. And as they did at the Commonwealth Games last year, they've defeated Australia in the pool stages.
Yeah, Jennie Sandford. She has been rock solid, keeping the pairs team together.
They've won 8 of the 14 ends so far, Baz, but of the 6 that they've conceded, 3 of them have been multiples, and they've only scored 2 multiples themselves. They've scored a 2, a 3, a 4, a 3, a 2, and a 3. So they've done it. That's a very interesting get-up you've got there. The hat over the headphones, Baz.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, it's quite warm. I'll be doubling up on the sunscreen today.
Yeah, I'm going to need to put
beautiful.
some on after this. I reckon there might be a little bit of tinge of red in my skin at the moment, so I need to go and locate some after this match. The sun is starting to beat down on us. But England have been rock solid. They've been asked the question on numerous occasions, and of course, after after 7 ends, halfway through this match, and after 9 ends, it was only 2 the difference. But they have extended this lead out. That big 4.
Yeah, that 4, that was a game changer, that 4, Val.
Yep, on end number 8, that's when they tightened the screws and they took a stranglehold on this contest. And since then, they've only lost 2 ends. And they've won 4. And only one of those has been a single. So they've scored in numbers. Jennie Sandford and Gill Platt will get their campaign off to the most perfect of starts.
I think for Serena and Cheryl, I think it's just a case of, you're playing arguably the favourites in the competition. Big first up game. Just look at the...
But there's the adage, Baz. You take more from your losses than you do from your wins.
That's right. Just debrief. What could we have done better? Is there anything particular we need to work on? Great shot there from Cheryl. And then all you do is assess that, and you don't dwell over it. You move forward. Start fresh. Blank canvas.
So up next, we're going to be bringing you James Reynolds and Damien Delgado up against Finn Kaiser and Jack Pullen of England. So another battle of the ashes, the bowls ashes. We should make that, Baz.
Yes.
Burn a Jack or something.
So once again, Cheryl Lindfield with her last on the forehand, looking to get another one in there. Just grab some confidence out of this last end. Try and play three goodies. She's done pretty well. Yeah, it's those multiples I spoke about earlier in the match. Take a few of those multiples out, 4 and a 3, and it's anyone's.
Yep, and you look at the multiples that they have scored, England, it's when Jennie Sandford has really set up the end.
Yeah, front-end pressure. It's the key to most games and most sports, you know.
Yeah, she's been phenomenal.
Outnumbering
really
your
impressive.
opponent. Yeah, that's right. If you can just stack them in there early, create the trend, put things on your terms. So, Gill Platt on the mat. 2 down. Backhand, looking to draw the shot or promote her nearest. It's on a good line. As we're seeing, just a few, probably majority of bowls short on this in this game have been in this direction.
Yeah, they have. It's been easier to sort of get it up, but this is where, so the opposite direction, so where Serena's bowling from now, that's where the sun has been throughout the majority of this contest, so maybe it's been a bit quicker going in this direction.
Yeah, it's that easterly, southeast that's been around for a few weeks, and they're playing back into it, nearly directly into it at the moment, so... It's a little bit of illusion too. You've got a crowded background in this direction, so it feels like you're playing into something, whereas playing towards the other greens, it's much more open, much more freer, and that's just that illusion.
So, Gill Platt, a couple to come as England look to round this one off. They know they've won, just it's to be determined by how much.
Lovely weight. Jack high. Well, Australia, every shot counts for their pool percentages, so if they can try and pinch a 3 or 4 here, it all adds up.
That top 4 position, all the more important. You just got to get into the knockout stages, and then funny things can happen, Baz. You just got to be there. What's the adage? In it to win it.
Nice release there from Serena. Really good follow through. Works hard on her game. Should get rewarded here. Promote that bowl for a counter or slide pass. Well, that's enough for 4. It's a great little pickup forming here.
Yep.
Gill Platt doesn't want to go down without swinging, though. I reckon she'll be trying to spoil the party here.
So I believe, no, they are through. Or the Aussies have won. Damien Delgado and Jimmy Reynolds have kicked off their campaign, their maiden World Bowls Championships campaign, with a win. They've defeated Thailand 17-11. A brilliant display. The
Aussies here praying for more ends. They're starting to get a feel for it. Holding a really good 3 or 4 here.
Yeah, they sure are. And a big collect here is exactly what they need just to stem that flow. England have been good. As Serena.
Yeah, beautiful shot.
Another one
That's enough. Well, what a great finish.
Is that a 5 to finish? They're going to have a measure. 5. There it is. Cheryl has her full hand up. And that means that Australia finished this match really, really strongly. And the shots up, well, they only go -4 from their opening encounter. So a really good performance from England. They'll be disappointed with that score at the end there, but they were nigh on perfect throughout the majority of this contest. They scored mostly in multiples, and well, Jennie Sandford, she led from the front, and she was phenomenal throughout. So brilliantly done by her. Gill Platt as well, skipping brilliantly. Cheryl and Serena, they'll move on back to the drawing board for them. But England kick off their campaign perfectly with a 19-15 win over the home nation, Australia. They do very, very well, and they'll look to continue to build on that momentum. Barry Lesser, it's been an absolute pleasure. We'll be back at 11:30, so just over an hour's time, as Australia take on England in the men's pairs. That'll be Jimmy Reynolds and Damien Delgado against Finn Kaiser and Jack Pullen. See you then, Baz.
Yeah, good on you, Val. Thanks, mate.
Val Febo and Barry Lester here with you at the Broadbeach Bowls Club, where England have kicked off their Para Women's Pairs campaign in style, defeating Australia 19-15. We'll catch you in just over an hour's time for men's para pairs action.